One, two. Welcome to the Javier Mendez Podcast. And we've got Coach back in town after a great visit to the Middle East over there, back from Dubai and Maldives. And where else? Did you go anywhere else?
No, that's it. Just Dubai and Maldives. There was a lot of other places that I was offered to go to: Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco, Macau. I couldn't go. I had
Yeah.
too many things to do in Dubai and Maldives with the new business that I opened up called JII Trading Company. JII. So it's Javier Infaz Inku, Dr. Iku. They named it after me. Javier first. All our first initials.
There's a lot of Javier businesses opening up over there. That's awesome.
I don't know about a lot.
So you haven't been
It's
able to catch the fights, but you've only heard about it through me. And we were just talking about before we came on here about Luke stepping into the BKB, bare knuckle boxing.
yeah,
Um, they probably had more. They possibly could have more people watching that. It was a full sold out show than the UFC had for a fight night.
really.
Yeah,
So I mean, it was getting a lot of attention, a lot of good attention. The rivalry between him and Luke was very entertaining. Both of them were very entertaining, extremely entertaining. But it's bare knuckle. It's a whole different ball game. It's not an easy. A lot of people you don't think will do well in bare knuckle do great in bare knuckle. A lot of people you think will do great in bare knuckle do not do great in bare knuckle. Like you would have thought for sure MVP would have beat Mike Perry because he's such an awesome, striker. But apparently it wasn't good enough. This is bare knuckle, so it's a different story. I didn't see the fight, so I can't comment on the fights. All I can comment on is that bare knuckles obviously it's a different set of rules, and different fighters are made different games better.
yeah. I gotta say, MVP. You put him in there. He's known for his leg kicks as much, if not more, than his hands. They're both like it could be the hands that set up the legs or vice versa. They work like if he doesn't have all four limbs, he's kind of like, I could see why Perry could take advantage. And you can't, keep distance like teeping and kicking him away and push kicking the guy away or taking out them calves. Now you're just all hands and this guy can close in on you like, a jackhammer. And that's pretty much what I saw.
Well, yeah, Mike Perry's style is coming in your face, brawling, and it's not a stylish type thing. It's a bare bones, brawl. You could put him in a cage. I'm sorry, not cage. You put him in a phone booth, and this guy's fighting, and he's fighting good. He's a blood and guts guy, and he could take a punch, he can give a punch, and he's not afraid of nobody. Like I said, I didn't see the fight, so I can't judge the fight. I just know that bare knuckle has really not my interest, other than this one because Luke was fighting in it, so it did get my interest. But no one was talking about the Eddie Alvarez and Chad Mendez fight very much about this one, and I heard that was a split decision or something like that, and
Yeah, it
it
was it
was
was
really
it was a
close.
great fight. It was competitive. And he was Chad, not known for his stand-up, more for his wrestling, was throwing hands amazingly. He was great at this. See, like you don't know until you take them out of the MMA cage. It's a total different sport. It's not boxing. You could, boxing, you might think, oh, they can do boxing, but then when you take them to bare knuckle, you see it's a whole different sport than even boxing by
No,
far.
it is. It is. It's a whole different sport. It's not by far different than bare knuckles, but it is because there's a lot of things in boxing you can't do in bare knuckle, and there's some guys that will kill you in boxing, but won't kill you in bare knuckle because there's a lot of things they can't get away with. You can't. It's a whole different ball game. So, yeah. I don't know the sport that well, so I just know that it's a different sport, and a lot of people that you don't think will do well in bare knuckle will do really well, and a lot of people think will do great don't do so great.
Yeah, it was. I think Luke got his teeth broken or tooth. I'm not sure. He pulled out his mouthpiece. He was pointing up to here to the ref, and then the ref called it off there. I don't know what it was. It was in the second round, but I would say that the problem he had is he's got the long reach, and then Perry would come in and like he couldn't box in this zone in this short zone. He extended, yeah, but then once Mike came in, he's like, it's like these big old arms are, it's like a crane that's too long or something, and that's what it looked
Yeah,
like. It
yeah.
didn't work for
Like
him.
I said, I didn't watch the fight. You know, of course, I wanted Luke to win. So obviously, I'm not. I know, but hey, it's a sport. It's not real life or death, and may the best prepared guy win, or the person that God blessed that day win. So it was Perry. So there it is, and I'm sure Luke is probably hopefully one and done. And he doesn't go back to an arena he doesn't know anything about. I mean, it's a rough arena to just jump in like that, and he jumped in. So
Yeah, I mean, if it's not your sport, don't think. I mean, don't think you're just going to win. Now, you could be a great chess player and you go play checkers against the checkers master. Doesn't mean because you know chess you're going to beat the guy in checkers. Does not
no,
translate. And
does not
absolutely not.
translate. No, whole different ball game. Whole different
But
ball
yeah,
game.
they
So,
packed the house. I mean, just telling you a little bit more about the promotion. Connor showed up, and I think he faced off with Mike Perry for fun in the ring. And Gaethje was there. There's a lot of like UFC big time there. So it looks
Kamar
like
Usman
they're
was
doing
there
the
too,
right thing.
right? Former champ
I
was
think
there
he might have
too.
been.
Kamar Usman.
I think so.
If you're getting that attention, that means there's something there. So good for them.
Yeah, they're doing great. So we got one other top of the news that just came off just like shortly before you get home. Guess who's not picking up Ngannou's contract?
Well, I
They're
know
over.
UFC
They're
is not.
overseas.
UFC is not. I know that, but
UFC's not. One FC's not.
one FC is not picking up his contract.
They don't want
Yeah,
too
but
much money.
they
BKFC
don't.
said too much money the other day, and one FC just said so today. Like we don't have the money for that. We're not
They
going to
don't
pay for
have the
that.
money. They don't have the money. They don't have the talent to do anything with him. His biggest, best fight is Tyson Fury. Other than that, he's going to be the kind of money he's going to want. He's not going to get him this. The only person that can provide that money for him is the UFC because of the pay per view. No one else can offer him that kind of money other than boxing, a Tyson Fury. He's got to do a freak show type thing. Otherwise, he's not going to get that kind of money. I don't know what he's thinking. He's thinking all these other organizations are dying to get at him. They're dying to go broke. Are you crazy?
Right.
There's no way that any organization is going to pay the kind of money that he deserves. But then again, what he deserves is what he can get. Well, the most money you can get is a fight with Tyson Fury type. So guess what? That's where you need to go.
It's funny. You don't realize how important the organization is, but you think you're doing all the magic because of your pride or whatever. You get the belt and they're negotiating, and I'm worth more. I'm worth more. And well, look how much money they're making. But that's what makes the wheels turn.
You are worth more, but you're worth more to fight a certain person and a certain
Right.
style, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of these companies, they don't have UFC money. They can't afford you. They cannot afford
Yeah.
him. Boxing can't, but boxing
Yeah.
has to put him in with the killer. But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. It's his good luck with him and what he's doing, but it's not as easy as that. I mean, the kind of money he's wanting, he's thinking he's going to get Conor McGregor type money, which I'm sorry, but he ain't going to get that kind of money. He'll get great money, better than what he was getting, but he ain't going to get great money because where's it coming from? The promotion's going to
What history
spend
of
all their money.
what history of pay-per-view do you have of Show Me a Return? It's kind of like real estate, Hav. If your house is worth $1 million, but you insist to me that it needs to be sold for $3 million, and I'm telling you the whole market, no one's going to pay more than $1 million, and you look on the internet and there's nothing, the same exact house as yours sells for 900,000. Why do you think you're going to get 3 million? Identical.
That's the price. That's the price. And that's all I'm saying is that, against certain people, he'll do great, and I'm sure he probably went through Bellator too. He probably outpriced himself there too, because, Bellator has not been notoriously known for making great pay-per-view events yet. The only pay-per-view king is in MMA is the UFC, and then after the UFC, basically boxing, WWE. So those are kind of the where he needs to be to make the biggest bang for what he wants. And about with Tyson Fury, man, that's genius for him if that's what he chooses to do. But apparently he's trying his mark everywhere. And ONE FC is making big waves. Now they're coming around and they're doing all the right talking. Their promoter is doing all the right things, saying all the right things to bring themselves to the top. Let's see what happens, but he's doing all the right talking. I'll tell you that. He's saying the right things, that's saying what any promoter should say about their promotion that's trying to be the best. They're the best. They're the best. And hey, the only people that are ahead of us is UFC, et cetera, et cetera. That's what they should all be saying, because you don't want to say anything less than that. You can't say you're better than the UFC because the UFC numbers show, but you could definitely say you're the next best thing, and they're doing it correctly. That's what I would be doing. We're the best, PFL, we're the best. We're ahead, we're next to the UFC. I'd be all doing that. They're all doing that. Why not? Put yourself second or third. Put yourself like we're right next to them. We'll fight them. We'll fight our guys, best guys against their best guys. Well, the benefit is to you. The UFC doesn't win on any of those, because even if they wipe you out, they still give you attention. They're not going to give you attention.
It's kind of like when you leave the union, it's a little hard to get a gig when they get all the plumbing jobs in town. And that's just how it is, man. If you leave the UFC, but unless you're going to do something else, there you go. There's another opportunity. Like you said, boxing. Yeah. What do you think happens? Something in maybe Abu Dhabi, Dubai, or one of those countries. Somebody says, you know what? You and Tyson Fury, let's do this. You think something like that comes together?
I could see Abu Dhabi paying him quite a bit of money. They offered Habib $100 million to fight Mayweather way back when.
Yeah,
that would have worked out, but they offered a Habib $100 million.
Oof.
So Abu Dhabi. I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia can play it.
Yeah, but also Habib was retiring, and he's like, I'm done. No amount of money. Promise is priceless with Habib. That's good. I
don't know what happened. I just know it didn't happen. I know it was offered. I know Habib was interested. I know they were working with the UFC on making it happen, but something happened down the line and it just didn't go through. And I don't know why. I'm not involved. All I know, the rumors, people have talked about rumors. Was Habib supposed to fight Mayweather for $100 million? Yes, that was true. That was a rumor. That was true. A rumor that was true. But it didn't happen for whatever reason. That I don't know.
Yeah. So let's I got something here for you. Can you see the card? Am I sharing it on the screen here?
Yeah,
might be a little
versus.
You see those two guys?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let me see if I can make it so it's more easy to see who else is. Well, another big fight. Let's look at this card a little better here. So on the card, let's pick the top. Let's go from the top four. So you get Movsar Evloev against Bryce Mitchell, the super jiu-jitsu tough country guy. He's pretty good. I don't know about Movsar.
He's coming off a loss, so
he's coming off a loss, right? Let's see if that pops up. So this is the guy he's fighting. He's from Russia, 16-0. He's not from Dagestan, but he just beat Dan Ige. And Hakeem Dawaju. So I think, maybe things are leaning into the Russian guy's favor. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I mistrack what you're saying.
Don't worry, guys.
I finally got my screen on where I'm looking at Rockhold's teeth. Luke Rockhold's teeth with his fist.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. That means that he must have got his tooth knocked out. Man, my internet is not working. So, all right, never mind.
You saw that. Well, I just gave you guys my insight on that one, but let's go for some of the top fights here, just like top two. Is Hav just got in? He just flew in today. We don't want to make him like get his jet lag any worse. Let's see. So Bilal Muhammad is got a really good fight. Are you aware of that one?
Yeah, he's fighting Gilbert Burns on a
Yep.
short notice. They both had 2 weeks' notice. Um, this fight favors Gilbert Burns. What's the weight? Because Gilbert just fought. Bilal hasn't fought in a while, so I would imagine Bilal's weight's heavy. So I would think that Bilal would be having a harder time making the weight than Gilbert because Gilbert just fought at that weight, so he's still in shape. So this is going to be a tougher fight for Bilal. But Bilal is in an 8-fight win streak, so he's the deserving guy. He shouldn't have to fight Gilbert Burns. He should be fighting for the title. Bilal should be, based on his percentage, but that doesn't work that way. It's all based on what the UFC wants, what their personnel sees as the right fight, the money fight for them, or the fight they want to see. Regardless of what we think, or regardless of what we say, they're the biggest corporation in the world for a reason, and we're still watching them. Whether we like what they do or we don't like what they do, we're still watching them. I'm still watching them. I may not like what they do sometimes, but overall, I loved watching it. So guess what? Tough shit. Like them or don't like them, you're still watching them. And, like their decisions, don't like their decisions, still putting on great shows.
Yeah, that's but what do you think? I mean, you've got Bilal, who's like a really tough, gritty endurance guy, and Gilbert Burns is a powerful, fast machine. I mean, he's explosive. And you
He's
saw
good
how he's
everywhere. He's good everywhere. He's gutsy, takes a shot, has good wrestling, great jiu-jitsu, decent striking. Bilal's got a little bit better wrestling than Gilbert. But Bilal doesn't have the activity. Bilal hasn't fought in a while since the last time Islam fought. It's the last time he had his fight. He had a great fight there, but he hasn't fought since. So, and Gilbert's on a roll. I like going with a guy I know. I know Bilal, so I don't know Gilbert, and but I'm pulling for Bilal, but I'm not so sure he's going to be able to do it, only because there's a lot of variables going up against him, and he's fighting a guy that's a freaking stud, anyways.
yeah. I think well, listen, Bilal's a stud, and I think he's got something special there, but he's also up against a guy who's got something very special, and he doesn't stand too tall and weaken the legs to get taken down either. And
No,
he's got knockout power, and he's got grit,
yes, it
and he
does.
can take a he can take a hit. He's going to chin on him for days. So
Yeah,
I
he
think this
does.
will be, if anything, this will be Bilal's toughest test to date. I don't see a walk in the park at all on this fight. I think it's a very gritty, top level challenge. I mean, that definitely could be a main card, main fight there if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Cejudo coming back for Aljamain?
Well, Cejudo is, I mean, he's one of the greatest combative sports athlete ever. I mean, come on, an Olympic gold medalist. He's got 2 titles in the UFC. He's got the flyweight. He's got the bantamweight title, and now he's going back for the bantamweight title. And knowing him, he's going to probably try to go for the you know featherweight title after that. I mean, he's a stud.
Or the heavyweight title?
Aljamain. Aljamain has the experience in active, fighting. But I don't know. I don't know. Can he deal with Henry's wrestling? And can Aljamain take Henry down? I don't know if the wrestling mixes each other. I think jujitsu wise, I think Aljamain has a little bit better jujitsu, but I think striking wise, I think Henry's got overall better striking, and I also think that he's all overall. Henry's got a great game plan. He's going to come out with a great game plan, and he's a dog, man. This guy's coming out, so that's going to be a great fight. I'm excited to watch that fight because I think you got guys that are really, really going to put it on the line.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I mean, you do have a good point there. Cejudo being an Olympian. He's not just a guy he was pretty good at a college up in Northeastern something. He was a friggin' Olympian, bro. He's
an Olympian, and he's one of the greatest combative sports athletes of all time.
Yeah.
And because you got to remember, Olympic gold medalist, and then if he wins this title, and let's just say he does go up to featherweight and he wins it. What if he wins it? What if he beats Volkanovski? What if? You have to call him the greatest, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. You have to. You cannot say no. You have to. Based on what he's done, you have to. And am I putting it past him? Nope.
I mean, Aljamain can come up with a crafty game plan, but there's not much to watch in the past couple of years, right?
I don't know what he's going to be able to do against Henry. I don't know. I mean, you never know. Aljo shocked us with what he did with Peter Yan on the rematch. I mean, he proved he was the real champ. So I don't know. He impressed me.
You've got some fights coming up. Abu Bakar's coming back for a fight. What card is he fighting on?
June 3rd in June 3rd in Vegas. I don't know. I don't know if it's what it is yet. From what I know, it's June 3rd. And then Moblid is fighting the PFL June 8th in Vegas.
Okay.
And then I got Imma Shafi and Gaji. They're fighting February 16th in Chicago.
Oh, that sounds good. So what about Usman? He's not coming back for a bit? He's going to wait for these other fights to play out?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think they're going to wait for the June 16th winner to come out of that, because that's just going to be who his opponent's going to be. So they're probably going to wait and see what happens there. If the winner is healthy, then they can figure out when they're going to do the next date. But I think they're going to wait a little bit before they make the next the semifinals round. I think. I could be wrong, but I know there's no time as of right now.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I just want to give people a heads up. We've got podcasts coming up in like a week or two. If you've seen the series, and you should check it out if you're just sitting around nothing to watch tonight. But Catching Lightning with Lightning Lee Murray, one of the guys that's in the show. He's been on our podcast before. Remco.
Is that a Netflix special or something?
I think it might be Showtime. Yeah,
Oh.
I'll find out for you. But it's like, yeah, it's pretty popping. It's a very interesting gangster MMA fighter. I mean, around the world, everything. It's got intrigue, It's not what you expect, and it's like the reason why he ends up being that way is possibly tied to an incident that happens, and it's a good watch. I was hooked. I really liked it. So that would be pretty neat to watch.
Is it out already? All four?
Yeah. You should check it out. You'll be like.
Is there only four? Is there more than four?
I'll share what it looks like. Hang on one second. Catching Lightning. Yeah. Yeah, for Showtime. Yeah, it's on Showtime. It's called Catching Lightning Season 1. Yeah. That's what's going to be happening. It's pretty cool. Well, Remco's been on here before. He used to train the guy that was actually ended up being the bank robber that was fighting in the UFC, who was really tough. He gave Anderson Silva a hell of a fight, but he didn't have any answer for the lower leg kicks, basically. I don't know if you ever saw that fight, Cage Rage.
Yeah, I did, because Lee Murray is really, really tough, but he was more of a boxer, like a street tough guy. He was very good though.
Bare knuckle champion would have been 100%. Yeah. That would have been his craft.
Yeah,
he was tough.
He was supposedly known for getting in a street fight with Tito Ortiz and back and forth. Oh, I knocked you out. No, you didn't. So I don't know what happened, whatever. But
you'll find out if you watch the series. You'll see where the scale leans, like who says more yes than no on that.
And, I just know that there was talk about that before he got thrown in jail. But they were talking about, I knocked you out. No, you didn't. Blah blah blah, and I don't know.
Street fighting's a serious thing in England, man. That is a serious
Well,
thing.
he was he was in a way you can call him. He was like the Kimbo Slice
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way because he was badass. He was whooping everybody's butt.
But he was a G. He had money already. He just wanted to get in the UFC and be the champion. And you know, you got to watch the show. I don't want to give away too much of a spoiler because I think you'll enjoy watching it too. But something happens and it, you know, kind of messes up the UFC a little bit. But he was on track. He was dominating over in England, and he's just like always telling the guys that ran Cage Rage, like, get me the baddest dude. Like he wanted Anderson Silva. He didn't want to fight 6 more guys. He's like, give me that dude. Like, I think he fought Pele too.
I believe he did.
He knocked out Pele.
I believe he did. I believe he did.
He was one of the toughest guys ever to come out of Brazil. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was
Pele was a badass. Lee Murray was a badass. You know, so why he went into what he did, and from what I read, the little bit I did read, it was a really, really planned out, sophisticated bank robbery. One of the most sophisticated bank robberies in the history of bank robbery.
And the highest amount of money ever, like 50 million or 28 million, some crazy amount.
Crazy amount, but it was very sophisticated. And how they got caught, that's be interesting to watch how they got caught, because there was quite a few of them, if I'm not mistaken. There was 8 or 9 of them.
There's a good group of them. I think you'll like it also from the nostalgic part because you know the fighters in it and you recognize the era and it kind of takes you back to that time. You're like, oh yeah. It's like I don't know what
was that. How long ago was that?
Probably in the UFC high 30s or 40s range, like UFC 38, 42 range, possibly. I gotta think. Like, I can Google it. What were you doing around then? Like, who did you have fighting back then?
When Lee Murray was? Oh, that was Frank Shamrock, Paul Bonatello, Mike Kyle, Kung Lee. You know, those kind of guys.
Yeah. So you were more into Strikeforce back then.
No, UFC too.
Well, it was the first time that the UFC ever went over. It was UFC 38, July 2002. That's when this happened.
Yeah, BJ Penn. I had BJ Penn during that time. Yeah.
So you didn't go over to England. You were like, I ain't going nowhere.
I didn't want to go to England. I went to England. I didn't like it.
Oh, you went there briefly, yeah.
Yeah, I was there 3 times. I didn't like it all 3 times.
Have you been to Ireland yet?
Never. No, that probably would be fun. Ireland
like
would probably be fun. You know, England, the people are great, but I didn't like England. The people are nice, though.
I liked Ireland. We had some like stormy days and it was colder, like, oh, I see why they're miserable. And then it was a sunny day and it was like, oh, this place is amazing. But that was only one sunny day out of 5. So that was kind of my turnout. But the people were just off the top, and they were awesome. Great hospitality.
Nice.
Yeah. But Spain's one I recommend for you, Hav. You would love it. You would love it more than you realize. You'd be like, oh, just something special about it, man. Just something old school that I like.
I haven't heard anybody be negative on Spain.
I was surprised because I was like, we were going over there and, I looked at the cuisine. I go, I don't know if I'm going to like it. I ended up loving it. I was like so particular about what I ate. I don't know what was up with me. My wife's like, gonna go. I'm like looking for a way to get out of it. And I'm like, all they have is this. And I went there and go, oh man, this is awesome. I had to go back real quick. But welcome back, Hav. Anything else going on this week?
No, just looking forward to the Henry Algerman fight. Who's the semi-main event? And then that's Muhammad, right? Muhammad and
yeah, they're right next. They're the co-main.
Those two are worth watching.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good card. Well, we'll do that, Hav, and I'll catch up with you soon. Get some rest, and hopefully you get on a normal sleep cycle soon.
Yep, we'll do. All right, man. Talk to you.